Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. My name is Sarah, also known as Laugh Love Langella, and here on my YouTube channel I love to share all things home decor, styling tips, DIYs, and budget-friendly decorating in our first home. Today's video is going to be two different ones kind of mashed together in a sense, if you will. So it is not fall weather here in North Carolina yet. I'm desperate for it. And one of my favorite treats to enjoy during the fall is apple crisp. And I know I'm not alone in that. So I wanted to share with you guys a super easy apple crisp recipe with not too much effort or ingredients. And while that is baking, we're also going to be doing a Pottery Barn pumpkin candle dupe. I had seen one on Pottery Barn's website. They have like a clear, a brown color. I feel like there's one other one I'm forgetting at this moment, but $40 is a lot of money for a candle that is seasonal at that. So I knew I could do a look for less dupe version of that. So that is what we are going to be doing while we are waiting for the apple crisp to bake. So without wasting any more time, let's get baking. So to get started, you're gonna need 5 apples of your choice. You will also need cinnamon, white sugar, flour, and butter. So apples, cinnamon, sugar, flour, butter, that's it. What is that, 5 ingredients? Like I said, super straightforward, but I'm gonna rinse these off really well and then we'll get into how I assemble it.
Here is a quick glimpse at my recipe card. Again, there's really no measuring necessary for the apple portion of this, but you can take a screenshot for the crumble recipe.
So I always like to have a waste dish whenever I'm peeling stuff. I don't like having a messy surface. So I always just grab one of our plastic bowls. You can use whatever you want. You can leave it on the cutting board, but it just makes it that much easier when you're going through doing all this. Okay, so now those are all peeled off. I still have a nice work surface. So I'm going to grab the dish I'm going to be using, so that way when I slice it, I like to slice and assemble it at the same time. My mom gave me this dish a few years ago. So it's got, what is it? It's about like 4 inches. I'm not very good with like eyeballing, but this is the perfect size for apple crisp. So what we're gonna be doing is finely slicing the pieces, layering them, and then dusting our cinnamon and white sugar on each layer. I like my apples nice and thin. If you do them chunkier, you could always put it in a mixing bowl with your ingredients. But we're gonna slice this up and assemble it in the dish. I'm sure there's a better way to core that as well. I don't mind if there's like the tiny little pieces on the ends there, but as you can see, there's no core. And what I'll do, now make sure when you're holding a knife, do a pinch grip so you don't have it sliding anywhere, and always tuck in your fingers, including your pinky and your thumb, because you don't want to get in trouble. Now as you can see, my apples are very, very thin. I don't want there to be any risk of a chew through kind of moment. I'm not explaining that well. But what you'll do is you'll take your apples and literally just line your entire dish. You don't need to spray anything in it before you do it. Just get right into it. And obviously too, you could always just toss everything in, but I just like to have everything nice and even. So that is the way I do it.
Just wanted to say a quick thank you so much for tuning into my channel today. Be sure to leave me a comment down below. What is one of your favorite treats to enjoy for fall?
Okay, so now we have our one base layer done. And we're gonna dust the whole thing with cinnamon and sugar.
Definitely don't be afraid to put a good amount of cinnamon so that you can have that true apple and cinnamon flavor come through. Take an easy hand when it comes to the sugar though. It doesn't need it as much. It just helps break down the apples.
Okay, so I have at this point sliced all my apples. I put a very generous coat of cinnamon in between my apples and the crumble that we're gonna do. Every time I've done less than that, it's just never enough. So for the crumble, we're gonna take 3/4 cup of flour, 1/3 cup of soft butter, and 1/2 cup of white sugar and mix it in the KitchenAid.
For the crumble, I'm going to mix the dry ingredients just real quick before adding the butter. I know it doesn't say it on the recipe card, but I do also add cinnamon to the crumble mixture. Again, just a preference, you don't need to do it, but that's just how our family enjoys this treat.
So after you've let that work a little bit, you should be left with this almost soft, like sandy type of texture. You'll find some chunks of butter in there still if it didn't fully work itself out, but this texture is totally fine, so we're gonna go put that on top of the apples. So now we're gonna take the crumble mixture all over the top, evenly spread it out. And then what we'll do is we'll bake this at 350 in a preheated oven for about 50 minutes. You want the top to get a nice golden brown without charring, because you do have the sugar in it. So you just have to keep that in mind. If you have a convection oven, it might be closer to like 45 minutes and it'll be ready, but we're gonna get this in the oven now. Let's put our crumble in for 45 to 50 minutes. All right, so now to the DIY portion of this video. I've got my apple crisp in the oven. It's gonna take anywhere from 45 to 50 minutes. I have a timer set for 40, just so I can check to see where it's at and kind of guess about where timing-wise I'm gonna land. But for this portion of the video, we are doing a Pottery Barn candle DIY dupe. So this is super easy. I did a very, very similar one last year with the bell candles. I'll put a picture over here. They turned out so cute. I actually still have them, so I will be breaking them out again this year. But this entire idea can be applied to really anything. You want a pumpkin, you want a candle, obviously it's a candle. You want a pumpkin, you want a bell, you want to take a wood dough bowl. Same principle is applied to any of these, and they just turn out so cute. So let me go grab the items that we will need for the video today. So if you watched my recent home decor finds video, you've actually seen both of the items that we will be using today. We have this falling leaves and amber candle from Kirkland's. This is so yummy. You can use any candle that you already have on hand. I've never tried creating my own candle with like the soy wax and the scents and stuff. I'll get there eventually. I just don't feel confident enough at this point in time. So I just use a pre-made candle that has a good balance of scents that I like. Then we have our pumpkin from Hobby Lobby. So this was only $5 at Hobby Lobby, and the top is removable. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking some long wicks, because you want it too long on purpose. So that way when the wax is settling, you can have the wick bound straight up. So when it dries, the wick will be going straight through your candle versus getting lopsided, because we're gonna structure it. I'll show you how I do that too. So these long wicks I got at Michael's, and then I just have some Gorilla Glue. I've seen people that use the sticky tabs on the bottom. I've seen people do hot glue. I've always just used this and it's worked fine for me. So the first step is going to be gluing these into the bottom of the glass. I'm going to be doing, I'm gonna be doing 3. And now the thing to keep in mind is, I know it's kind of tough to see, there is a bump from the actual wick. So make sure you're very, very generous about applying the glue so that it actually stays. And we're going to be putting this in and letting it cool down all the way. For the candle, I'm going to be doing basically a double boiling technique. So I'm going to take a pot of water on the stove and put the candle in it. The thing you have to be very, very careful of, you do not want the water getting into the wax. That's when it gets dangerous. Keep it low enough. Trust me, it will still melt. It'll just take a little bit of time. We've got 40 minutes. We're waiting for apple crisp. So let's get into it.
So first you'll glue down your wicks, and then I'm using these clear knives that have a hole in it in order to help my wick stand up straight after the wax has been poured in.
Now remember, don't fill up your pot all the way, because your candle will displace some of the water. Don't actually set it to a boil. So I'm going to do medium heat and just keep a very, very close eye on it. But as you can see, the water is still quite a ways down from where the wick line is. So in theory, the entire bottom part will melt first, but the heat will rise up, melting the rest of it. As far as the wicks, once the actual wax is fully melted, you can just pull them right out. Okay, so my timer just went off, so we're gonna take a look at this. Oh, she's steamy. I'm gonna grab a mitt real quick. Ooh, let me see. It's so hard to tell the lighting. I'm gonna do, I think, 3 more minutes, and then I think we're good. So I have a convection oven, so that's gonna take 43 minutes for this. Alrighty, it has been another 3 minutes. So we are going to take this bad boy out. Oh my gosh, look at how yummy. Doesn't that look so delicious? And it's such a nice golden brown too. So I love to have this with homemade whipped cream, but I know a lot of people like to do like vanilla bean ice cream or something, so you could always do that too. But I can't wait to dig into that. Just a progress check. You can see how it is working its way down. It looks a little messed up on the sides because I was taking a knife and just poking it to push the top layer down, because you can see actually the white is where the wax is still not melted, and below it, it changed color. So that can let you know where about you are. We're almost there, friends. And you see the wicks just lifted. Oop, there's a bubble. Like they lifted right off the bottom. So I did end up splashing it just a little bit on the sides. It was kind of awkward to grab. But as you can see, now we're using the knives to balance out the wicks so that they stay straight while it dries. So this is what it looks like when it has dried. Now we're just going to trim the wick. I am going to let it sit for over a day before I light it, but I'm doing this early enough so I can show you what it looks like all together. Now, obviously, this didn't turn out exactly the same as the Pottery Barn one because of the shape, but I mean, can you even? Look how cute. So I'm super excited to style this for fall. My wax splashed up the side a little bit, so if you're more careful, it'll look nice and clean. But I think it turned out so cute. Leave me a comment down below. How do you think I did versus the Pottery Barn $40 one? And mine was only, I think, like $15. So leave me a comment. How'd I do? Thank you guys so much for tuning into my channel today. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any new and upcoming content. If you missed my last video, it was our early fall home tour. So I'll be sure to link those below so you can check them out, so you can see how we styled our new home for fall. Until my next video, I will see you guys. Bye.